my God, please make a part
more
2.
pop flops, please.
I need more pop flops.
Oh my God, I need more pop flops. Bring us more pop flops.
This video. Pop equals omega, flops equals rhythms.
Y'all have asked, and I guess I have to answer. It's time to talk about some more chronically online pop flops. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with a part 2 to my previous video ranking the most iconic and unserious pop flops of TikTok and the greater internet. And y'all seem to really like that video. I asked y'all if you wanted to see a part 2 and y'all heavily requested a part 2, so here we are. I'm gonna cut the BS, sorta kinda. I was notified that I did not talk about a lot of y'all's favorite pop flops, which I'm shocked about because I thought that our collective knowledge over pop flopitude was in line, but apparently I'm a little bit lacking. So I have more, about 26 more to be exact. And some of these are a little bit older, a little bit more niche, and a lot of them are actually more recent. And I'm excited to get into them because I think they range from like incredibly unserious to incredibly floppy. And I know I always have a great time talking about these. And I know you love a good laugh, a good trip down memory lane of pop past. So let's get into it, shall we? So as you can see here, the tier list is back, just a little different. Starting at the bottom of the tier list here, the lowest tier on this lovely pop flops tier list are the category of memes and pop flops that are just genuine flops. Like anything in this category truly is like a flop unintentionally. I know last time the memes at the bottom were in Flop Tropica. They don't even get to go there. They are just in flop hell. Like the maximum security flop person. Not that I don't like these category of memes. It's just not necessarily giving what it was intended to really give in the way that it was supposed to be given, if that makes sense. Well, yes. The tier above that is the I giggle tier. These are funny. They're not necessarily great. It might have got a good chuckle out of me. It might have got a good little ha 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 out of me, but nothing really that serious that would bring it up to the next tier, which is the you just had to be there tier. Now this tier is where it's starting to get good. This is the tier where like it is a quality meme, it's a quality flop, it's a quality pop culture moment. You just had to be there. Like the moment came and it went, and those that get it, and those that don't can only aspire to. The tier above that is the I think about this diva at least once a day tier. These quality of memes are honestly legendary. Like they live in my head daily. I quote them at least daily, or at least think about them daily and get a good belly laugh out of them because they are just that good. Now you may be asking, Rumi, how can we get any higher than that? Like that sounds immaculate. Like if you are laughing and thinking about a meme daily, what could be even better? And for those of you that have tuned into the past video, you know exactly what best this tier. And this is the level of memery, the level of unseriousness, the level of flopitude that is only properly honored by being etched into the pop Bible itself. And I know that may sound crazy, and I know that may sound blasphemous and ludicrous, and it is. It really is. And that is why that tier exists. And the memes in this tier are just as blasphemous, just as iconic, and just as legendary as the title suggests, and I do not take these lightly. I don't anticipate putting very many memes and flops up here, but if I do, oh well, you know, I've done crazier. So yeah, that's our tier list. Now let me tell you something, this video has been a long time coming, and I am just so excited to finally deliver what y'all have been asking for. And actually, now that I say that, I think I really do love to deliver. Well, maybe I don't like being the one to deliver, but I definitely love deliveries, which is why I am so excited to partner again with this video sponsor, DoorDash. DoorDash is an on-demand delivery platform that can bring you groceries, fresh produce, restaurant meals, and so much more, all right to your door. I honestly do use the DoorDash app a little more than I would like to admit. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm not ashamed at all of my DoorDash usage, but I so often find myself using DoorDash whenever I'm too busy or too lazy to make a meal for myself, especially when it comes to dinner time. Sometimes I just do not feel like making a full meal, I'm gonna be honest, which is why I'm so happy to have DoorDash on my phone to get some food from some of my favorite local restaurants delivered right to my door. And that is some convenience that I can really get behind. So if you're looking to make your life a little easier with deliveries powered by DoorDash, then DoorDash is certainly your door to more. You can click the link in my description and use code Imurgency50, that is Imurgency50, to get 50% off of up to $10 of your first order of $15 or more. Thank you so much, DoorDash, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. Okay, now that that's all out the way, it's time to break into the tier list, friends. And I guess in order to do that, if I'm going to be talking about unserious pop culture moments, I need to wear something just as unserious. Y'all remember last time I wore the Megamind jacket? Y'all ate me up for that. Just you wait, because I have something that may be even better or exponentially worse. That is up to you. But let me powder my nose really quick. Hey, is this allowed? Hold on. You know I want to always give y'all. I know like 50% of y'all just clicked away right now. This feels very exposing. I don't know. I feel like OGs will remember where this outfit is from. They will remember where this was originally worn. I'm giving very much Zendaya. I'm giving very much body, Audi. These are not mine, trust and believe. But for the sake of this video, if it helps you watch along, then yes. Ugh. YouTube gods, don't demonetize this video. This is fashion. Let's get into these pop flops, shall we? The first pop flop we will be talking about is my personal favorite. We're starting off strong with Tokyo Toni's The Talk is Cheap. I don't know if you've seen this video.
People are always talking, but what happens when the talk isn't cheap and it is what it is? Well, what I mean by this is Hillary Clinton. Man, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes after this.
This particular clip never fails to send me because I feel like it's the quintessential Tokyo Toniness of it all. Like, you don't know what she's about to say next. And honestly, I don't know if you want to. Like, she has a masterclass in monologues. The way that she's able to be like, people are always talking, but what happens when the talk isn't cheap? And it is what it is. I gagged. And when she randomly brought up Hillary Clinton, like, for why? For what? People were saying that she was prophesizing Kamala Harris being the presidential pick and Hillary Clinton being mad that Kamala was having a better run than she was. That is Twitter lore. But I like to believe that because that paints Tokyo Toni to be some kind of prophetess. And I love when unserious people get prophet or prophetess allegations. Like, that is my favorite genre of meme. I just think this is so funny. And what makes it even better is that this has now become like a staple for her stan base. So whenever she says anything, if you look at the comments on her Instagram or her TikTok, people will always relate what she's saying back to how the talk is. Like, I remember seeing another video recently about Tokyo Toni with like Jocelyn Hernandez. And she's like asking her to like say what her favorite song is without singing it or like giving the name, and no one knows what Tokyo means, and all the comments are like, the talk is unclear. The talk is confusing. And I just think she's honestly an icon for that. She gave us the iconic reaction meme, which I use all the time because sometimes the talk isn't cheap and it is what it is, and you need to clock that sometimes. For that, I'm putting the talk isn't cheap Tokyo Toni in the pop Bible. I'm sorry. She is just so funny. She will always make an iconic moment. She gave us Well Yes, which has changed lives for generations to come. Tokyo Toni, you ate that. Pop Bible, boots. Next up is a rather unserious one. You see this lovely picture of Sunny D right here.
And what was your go-to order at the bodega?
My go-to order at the bodega was ham and cheese on a roll with an orange drink, if you know, you know.
Found it.
This picture of Sunny D is meant to reference whatever orange drink J-Lo was talking about in that one interview where she was saying how she's from New York and she gets a bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll or whatever with an orange drink, and never specified what exactly that orange drink was, which left many New Yorkers in a tizzy, because if you're really from New York, if you're really from the block, you'd be more specific about what orange drink you're drinking. Like, is it a Fanta? Is it an orange juice? Is it like random orange elixir? Is it like an orange Gatorade? Like, be specific, because that's not a native New Yorker answer. Like, an orange drink, what is that? What does that mean? The talk is very confusing. And honestly, anytime I go to New York, I make it a point to go to a local deli, a local corner store, a local bodega, and get myself an orange drink, whatever orange drink I see fit, just so I can feel a little bit closer to J-Lo and try and understand what she was talking about. I think last time I went to New York, I got like an orange Fanta and posted that on my story. The New Yorkers didn't really like that. They weren't a fan of that. They didn't think the talk was cheap, and it was not what it was. I am going to use that reference for the entirety of this video, just so you know. So be prepared to be sick of me if you're not already. But for this one, I have to say, you kind of just had to be there. Like, when J-Lo was having her rollout for her movie and album, whatever, this was really circulating. Like, a lot of J-Lo hate was rampant during this era, and you really just had to be there. I don't know too many people that are consistently thinking about J-Lo's orange drink on a day-to-day basis, but it definitely took the internet by storm and it had its moment, so you just had to be there. Next up, this is very relevant. This is Kamala Harris's iconic, "You think you just fell out of a coconut tree."
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
There was something that really shifted here. This honestly was the meme that launched Kamala's presidential campaign, if I dare say. Also, might I say, just to put it out there, since it is September and we're getting closer to November, for all of my American watchers, make sure you're registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, you can find a little link down here in the description somewhere to figure out if you're registered to vote, what your registration date is, and what your early voting days are, because this is an election year and it is a very important election. So make sure that you are tapped in and check out those resources. This is not affiliated with any company. Like, this is just me chatting. Like, the talk is presidential right now. So yeah, it's time to lock in. But in reference to this specific meme, I feel like this really did launch her career, because people started making memes of her saying this very bizarre phrase, like, who says you think you fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you've lived in what has come before you. I think that's the quote. Like, that is just unserious. And the fact that they put it over a brat beat, honestly, lives were changed. And I still reference existing in my context, as well as pondering whether people fell out of a coconut tree quite literally every day. I'm not sure if this is going to end after November, but we shall see. Right now, I think about this diva once a day. I'm sorry. My favorite itch bowl queen. Next up is another fairly recent one. This is the symphony meme. This one is just unserious.
I just wanna be part of your symphony.
Basically, if you're unfamiliar, Zara Larsson, a very popular artist, has many bangers, has a song called Symphony, and TikTok took it and ran with it and put it over these AI images of dolphins and have made multiple mashups. Some of them have like more dark and depressing text over them, while others are just very nonsensical and just whimsical and just fill you with a general sense of whimsy. I think either way, it is funny. Like, Zara Larsson herself has actually gotten part of the meme and like displayed the graphic visuals of the Symphony dolphins on like the backdrop of one of her tour shows. Like, that iconic. I feel like for this one, I definitely giggled. I don't want to say that this is core lore for the Imurgency cinematic universe, but it definitely did make its moment and I got a good laugh out of it. I got a good chuckle. It's not a flop. You didn't have to be there, because I don't know if it's necessarily going to last very long. So for right now, it goes in the I giggled territory. Yeah, this right here is something different. I didn't talk about this beef necessarily on my channel, but the Cleo and Ice Spice drama on TikTok, I wish I broke this up into two. Did I break this up into two? I did. So for this one, this is specifically going to be for Cleo's reaction. Like, Cleo's story time exposing Ice Spice was iconic and gave us so many different sounds. But for this one specifically, we're talking about the eating situation. We're talking about the illustrious chicken salad. If you're unfamiliar with the Ice Spice story, let me give you a quick little rundown. Basically, Cleo Trappa went on tour with Ice Spice very last minute. Ice Spice asked her good friend Cleo Trappa to come on the tour with her literally the day before the tour was supposed to start. Cleo was expecting some decent treatment as being the opener and being an alleged close friend to Ice Spice, but Ice Spice's team and Ice Spice repeatedly showed Cleo and told Cleo she's not her priority. She is just there for the ride, and she should be grateful to have this exposure. Cleo was allegedly neglected. Her bags were not taken anywhere, and she had to do most everything herself. She was not fed or given the option to really eat, and essentially just treated like a second-class citizen from her best friend and her best friend's team, who were not looking out for her, even though they invited her out very last minute. With that said, though, there is a viral moment that has been going on talking about a chicken salad, because one of the things they did not allow Cleo to eat was a chicken salad. Everyone else got chicken salads, but Cleo did not get a chicken salad, and she was so hungry. And the way that she goes about talking about that chicken salad, so funny.
I couldn't even get a chicken salad. You're not a girl. You're not what a girl.
And it makes it even funnier because after the fact, some videos were circulating about Ice Spice in her hotel room. And in the back of that TikTok of her like promoting her song in the hotel room, you can clearly see a very full plate of chicken salad on the table in the back of her hotel room. And people have been memeing the out of that, being like, that's Cleo's salad. Like, damn, they really didn't let Cleo eat. You thought I was feeding you? Like, the memes are too good. I am so sorry that this happened to Cleo, but it's funny. Sometimes the situation's so bad that you just gotta laugh. Like, it's too funny. And truly, I think for Chicken Salad-gate, you just had to be there. I talk about this on TikTok, but I think that there is something very spiritual, something very powerful. As soon as a chicken salad is brought up into the online discourse, it goes viral. Think back to the 21st Deadly Chicken Salad Superior. Like, anytime that hoe is brought up, she makes her numbers. She runs the South. She really does do her big one. So this is chicken salads, I think, like second or third time around the block. So shout out to the chicken salad. You really just had to be there. Next up is Clairo Shade. Now, Clairo Shade is something that I think is a Twitter originated meme. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Clairo Shade, Clairo, the singer, exists. Let's start there. Perfect. But the earliest reference to Clairo Shade stems back to 2018, when a singer by the name of Liz went on Twitter and went on this rant about how there are so many manufactured industry plants in the music industry, to which one lovely user replied, Clairo Shade? ? And The internet has not turned it loose since. Like, people will be saying clairo shade for anything. And it's especially been more prevalent now that Clairo has dropped her latest album. But like, people literally say clairo shade for anything. Like, you could be talking about the wind blowing a certain direction and people would be like, oh, is this clairo shade? Like, oh, not the clairo shade. And it's transitioned into other artists too by being like, not the blank shade. I love when a meme denatures and becomes something bigger than itself. One of the funnier ones that I found is that IKEA actually has a lampshade called clairo, or however you pronounce it in Swedish. And people on Twitter have not let that one go. It is too funny. I love it. And I just personally love attributing any inconvenience that I experience in my life to clairo shade. So for that, I think about this diva once today. Yeah, she needs to be there ASAP. Next up is the demure queen herself, Jules, in the very mindful, very demure meme.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful.
This one I feel like really took hold of this summer. I don't think I really need to explain this one because if you're watching this video, you have likely heard of the very demure, very mindful trend because you couldn't escape. Everyone's been saying it. Demure is the word of the summer. Like, Jules really ate that truly. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, this has been run to the ground. Like, let's stop talking about demure this, demure that. I'm not demure, I'm demiclard. I'm like, I just be saying. But I do have to admit, I love a good demurity. I think I'm putting demure in the I think about this diva at least once a day. She cleared with a little catchphrase. Everyone's been saying it. No, yeah, I do think about this once a day. I'm sorry. Next is old Gyp Gyp. Y'all know Gyp Gyp. Old Gypsy Rose. Get tipsy for Miss Gypsy. Like, this lady is unhinged. Because I don't know if you've been keeping up with Gypsy's story. She's pregnant right now. This is besides the point. This is specifically about the meme where she is talking about her man, which I think is now her ex-husband. And I think some hater was like clapping back at her online. And she was like, oh, last time I checked, you don't have a man. So you can go and be panini press. Like, giving very much millennial core.
Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad. And last time I checked, you don't have a man. So looks like you're the one that's panini pressed.
And I just love how dead ass she was. Like, I just love the way that she unironically just hops on social media and says stuff like that. Like, what do you mean? It's giving that one meme of like, I think her name is Emery or Avery, or that little kid Ariana fan that be singing and screeching all the time on social media, and that other little girl that were going back and forth on Instagram Live. It gives me that energy. And I honestly think you just had to be there. You had to be there for that era. I'm sorry. The next one, this one is an OG, and I think especially with recent news, it's become even more relevant. It's Miss Sit Down, Be Humble, Sit Down. You see how I ate that? Open up the schools. No, give me a record deal.
Sit down, be humble. Sit down, be humble.
But nah, this is Homegirl in her car singing the Humble cover. Y'all remember that? She got in her car and she had a mission to prove. And I say that it's especially relevant now that we know that Kendrick is performing at the Super Bowl next year. I think if he is going to do Humble, no, I have a vision actually. So imagine this. The lights cut out. You hear, and now performing for the 2024 Super Bowl, whatever number Super Bowl it is, Kendrick Lamar. It's pitch black. All of a sudden, spotlight. You see Homegirl sitting in a chair. The instrumentals to Humble starts playing in the background, and she takes her stand. She's like, my ex-bro just went viral. All the lights cut on, you see Kendrick come on, and the performance commences. And it is Homegirl over here and Kendrick going bar for bar on Humble and opening up the best performance to ever grace the Super Bowl. I would gag. And I honestly think the lasting impact of this meme really speaks to its longevity and speaks to its unseriousness. Like, people just don't do it like this no more. Well, they do, but they don't have the same impact. Because JoJo Siwa singing Traitor does exist, but it does not necessarily have the same impact as Miss Humble herself did. Like, she shifted things. The culture shifted forever, and I don't think we will ever be the same. So I think she truly, you just had to be there. I was thinking about putting her in Pop Bible, but I don't want to do that. So yeah, next is a unserious meme that has influenced me very heavily. I say it in almost every video. If it's not, well, yes, it is Miss Sabrina Briars. Oh,
by the way, I called the restaurant and added an extra seat because Jessica said she could join us.
Oh, Jessica's gonna join us.
Okay.
She slid with this one. I'm sorry. I don't think I talked about this in the last video, but oh, yeah, that's the one. Like, I use oh on my day today. I actually don't think I go a day without saying oh. Like, you get some shocking information. Oh, you hear some information that you really don't care about. Oh, you hear something that disgusts you. Oh, like oh is just so versatile, so used for anything and everything. And I think it's just the way that her intonation was. It's the way that she just seems so taken aback. It's the posture. Like, you can tell by my girl's pose that she meant business. Who else do you know hops up on TikTok like this? Oh, like, it is real serious. It is that serious. So for that, she goes in the pop Bible. I'm sorry, she's in my pop Bible. This next one, I don't want to talk about it. This is Chloe Bailey. Chloe girl, I am so sorry if you see this. I love you down, truly, so much. But what the hell was this? This is the infamous Chloe Bailey lollipop video where she's like, hello, my clovers. How are you?
Thank you all so much for loving me.
This was just simply crazy because I don't know who asked for this. I don't know who the target demo was supposed to be for this. Like, she is serving down. Don't get me wrong. She is very C-word T. Like, she is taking it, but I don't know if anyone really likes where it's being taken. I just remember seeing this and being confused. I'm like, what? I feel like I shouldn't be watching this. And I think that that's the general sentiment for most people. They're just kind of like, girl, what is this? But it's iconic. It's iconic. It's one of Miss Bailey's more iconic moments. She says a lot of things that are very iconic, but this one was just out of pocket. And I think this might be the first flop, I fear. This was a genuine flop. Like, I wish this didn't happen. Like, again, Chloe girl, I love you down. I just kind of wish this one didn't happen. You could have kept that one in the drafts. I'm so sorry. Oh, and look who's next. J-Lo is back. And this time we're talking about that one time J-Lo tried to start a trend on social media for a song that she was releasing where she walked on a beach and basically like took off her jewelry and her clothes and was expecting people to join in. There is something about the era of celebrities trying to have a viral challenge, like intentionally going out of their way to make a viral challenge. Like, I think we are in a perfect era right now where celebrities let the fans come up with a challenge and then they just embrace it. Before TikTok was really big, and before we understood how things should be, it was very much so a top-down model where the celebrity and their team would try and come up with some viral challenge that their fans could do. And it would be hit or miss whether the fans would do it. And oftentimes it would be a miss. Who was going to the beach, lip syncing to J-Lo and then taking off their clothes? And the thing about it was that, like, you know J-Lo's rich. She is just throwing and flinging like designer rings, like very expensive articles of clothing, just like somewhere in the sand. And that is just what made it even more unserious, because who's doing all that? Who's doing all that? Times is hard and people are stealing. People are thieves. People are scammers, okay? Who was just throwing their prized possessions onto the beach, possibly the ocean, just to make a little video for J-Lo? Like, I am so sorry. This one was a flop because I don't know a single person, actually I know a singular person that did this trend. But other than that, I don't know nobody that was doing this. That is a flop. I am sorry. And while we're on the topic of repeat offenders, Tokyo Toni. Again, this time is her infamous quote, I own businesses, AKA like Tokyo Toni Trucking.
You just give them money from like your bookings and stuff now?
No, I don't have bookings. I work.
You got a job?
Baby, I own businesses. I have a trucking company, Tokyo Toni Trucking.
So that's why you...
She hopped on Megan James's podcast and was just yapping and saying some ridiculous stuff. Like, she was talking about how she has kids in Uganda that eat because of her, how she was a DoorDasher for a couple days, how she owns businesses like Tokyo Toni Trucking and some record label. Like, it was unserious because most of these things did not exist, but because it's Tokyo Toni, like, it became a meme and it was kind of funny. Like, I think for Halloween this year, I think one of my costumes, I am going to be an employee of Tokyo Toni Trucking. Like, I just think that'd be funny. I'm gonna get like a custom like trucker outfit with like the Tokyo Toni Trucking logo on it. I don't know. I think that'd be gaggy. Let me know. If that's inspiring to you, definitely do it. But make sure you give me my credits. Give me my just dues, okay? Because if I see too many people with my idea outdoing me, eating me up, there's gonna be a problem. This one, you just had to be there. I'm sorry. You just had to be there. It was a moment. Next is Natalie Nunn. This is really like a baddies section. That's a whole other conversation, I think. I think I need to make a whole video about baddies and the Zeus Network and how it's bringing us back. But this one specifically is about that one Natalie Nunn song that's trending right now. She did eat. She did eat. She was like, Natalie Nunn, post for me. Fat, slim, thick, no tummy.
Why? Pose for me, baby. Natalie Nunn. Hey, baddies. Pose for me. Fat, slim, thick, no tummy.
Like, she slid on that, and the TikTok trend is so funny. I giggled at this. I'm sorry. I giggled. People were funny. The song is a little catchy. It's a little catchy. Next is that one dancer on the Olympics, that one breakdancer, I think, the raygun breakdancing. If you're not familiar with this, if you didn't watch the Olympics, there's basically this one breakdancer that came on the scene. Looked like they kind of just pulled someone from the audience being like, hey, can you breakdance for us really quick? She's from like Australia. Apparently, I think she like won. Did she win? She did not win any gold medals, but she allegedly tops the latest world breaking rankings. Ranked #1 breaker in the world by sports governing body. Whatever that means. Roll the clip. Yeah, I'm sorry, this was funny, but this was a flop. Like, what? No. Next up is the continuation of the Ice Spice drama, but specifically Ice Spice's response. You know, Cleo made that whole series. Everyone was on Cleo's side. Ice Spice hops on a Twitter space and it's like,
You not gonna tell the people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much food, you vacuum, that the server was like, where did the food go?
She calls Cleo a vacuum because apparently they went to a restaurant and Cleo finished her food so fast that she said that the waiter said, where'd the food go? Like, that was insane. Like, it's real strict with Ice Spice. Like, you can't eat too fast. Like for one, you can't eat at all. And two, when you do eat, you can't eat fast because then you're a vacuum. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. And I giggled. I did. It was funny, but not for the reasons that Ice Spice intended. It was just like, wow, that's your rebuttal. That's what you have to say in return. You're a vacuum. Crazy. Next is a more recent chronically online meme, and this is Mama, a girl behind you. This one is so stupid because it's literally a video of like a kid and their mom's asking the kid to take a picture, and the mom's Bitmoji pops up while they're taking a picture, and the kid goes, Mama, a girl behind you.
Mommy, a girl behind you. What are you?
And people have been taking it and mashing it up with the Donatella Versace meme, where they'll just like be like, Mama, a girl behind you, and then put a purple heart. Love it. Love it. This is my type of brain rot that I love. And for this one, I definitely giggled. It's funny. It's funny. It's quite funny, actually. Next is a variation of the demure trend. For those of you that watch Love Island and are fans of Love Island, you might get this one. This is specific. The way that Kordell from Love Island says demure. They're doing like some kind of promo on TikTok where they're trying to say very mindful, very demure. But Kordell goes like, very demure.
Coming to the 92nd Street NY. Very demure, very mindful.
Like, so confidently pronounces the word so wrong with a smile and a little peace sign. It was giving like Lil Baby energy. Hi guys, I'm Lil Baby. Like, it was just really funny. And I've been thinking about it every day since. I'm sorry. It's up there with the original demure. Like, it was just really funny. Shout out to Kordell and Serena. Love them down. And now we're bringing it back to some failed celebrity challenges. This is Idina Mendzel's. That one time that she proposed her own song to be Song of the Summer. One, the song wasn't anything innovative. It kind of gave H&M. And two, the video was just really cringy because she was like walking in a park, just really like giving it to us. Like, it was really bad, and people memed on her being like, girl, what is this? Like, she was really serious about being Song of the Summer. It made no noise in my household outside of being funny. And for that, I have to say I giggled. It was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. Next up, this one I think I talked about in my last video. This is Rihanna promoting, I think it was Savage X Fenty, where she was fighting cancellation with every fiber in her body. When she was like, Savage X Fenty is for everybody. It's for men, women, non-binary, all the gender appropriations in the pronouns.
And he designed some boxer briefs that both men and women and non-binary people of all gender appropriations and the pronouns, everyone is included.
My thing was she could have just said everybody. It's for everybody. Savage X Fenty is for everyone. She wanted to be inclusive, but it ended up backfiring. And I know she meant no harm, but it was just so funny seeing her struggle. Like, you can see the nervous hair flip. She's like shifting around. She's like, oh girl, not today. And my thing is, if you saw my girl struggling, this was on her sites. Why did they leave it in? Why did they leave it in? They could have easily just been like, okay, let me re-record this really quick. But no, they kept that in. And I love that for them. Like, I think they knew what they had on their hands. And that was just so funny because what do you mean the pronouns? Who are the pronouns? Oh my God, this was rich. I think about this at least once a day. I'm sorry. This was iconic. Next one is a very new one, and I kind of hate that it's on this list, but I put it on there because I saw a lot of people talking about it. This is Goonyonce. Let me give you a little bit of lore about this. Beyonce in Parkwood, I am so sorry. Basically, Beyonce put out a promotional video for Sacred about her wash day routine. And she's like going through her routine, showing how her hair gets washed with Sacred. Shout out Sacred. I love Sacred. I wear Sacred every day. You can't tell right now because my hair is very dry, but usually when I use Sacred, it is not. But she's going through her wash day. And there's this one clip. I didn't clock this at first. I didn't clock this until I went on Twitter and saw people talking about it. There's this one clip where someone is like massaging her head and she makes this face.
It gets in there really good. Get it all over that scalp and hair, especially on those edges.
And people are like, oh, I hate that Beyonce made this face. Because there's another meme online of, I don't know if I can say it in its regular form because I don't know if that's like demonetizable, but gooning. Basically, anytime a celebrity sticks out their tongue and does like a weird thing with their eyes, people are like, oh my God, not they got so-and-so gooning. Like there was like one crazy video of like Ariana Grande from the We Can't Be Friends music video where someone like edited like that face onto her and people are like, oh my God, not goonyana. So yeah, this is goonyonce. I hate this. I really do hate this. I hate that it's been brought out of this context and we exist in this specific context. The talk is very goon right now. I really hate it here. But I do think this is one of those things that where you just kind of had to be there. You kind of had to be there, and I hope that after this all blows over, we won't have to remember this as like something so current. And it'll be like, oh, I remember when Beyonce was gooning. I hope that it stays there. Next is every Debbie Ryan interview ever. And this is very broad because I think anytime Debbie Ryan is given a mic and an interviewer, she kind of just goes off the rails and says whatever. Like she's had many iconic lines about how she sat down with the president of Disney Channel and said, I want to make history and this is exactly what we're doing, to her just being really relatable, talking about how she likes pizza, talking about how she just threw her hair in a messy bun, put it all together, and here I am. Like, she's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. She's had so many crazy, insane clips where she'd just be saying things.
My one thing was I went into the Disney Channel building and I sat down with the president of Disney Channel and I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.
Drove around in the desert and ate like crappy diner food and like we're sitting on the like Salton Sea and then drove back and threw my hair up and zipped into a gown and here I am.
She's so pretty. What's like your one like, you know, beauty tip, makeup tip that you're doing right now?
Strawberry chapstick.
I think about a Debbie Ryan interview at least once a day. And I constantly quote, and here I am. Whenever I'm telling a story or telling anyone about my day, just because it's funny. It's so funny. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah. Next is one clip of Nicki Minaj going to jail. Do you remember that one time that Nicki got arrested in like Amsterdam or something during her tour and they like put her in like temporary jail and she was like live streaming it? There's this one specific clip where they're slamming the door and the door closes so heavy. It closes so heavy. They locked Nicki down. They were trying to make sure Onika did not go anywhere. Like, it was so funny. And people have been using that as like a reaction meme to whenever people are like, oh, jail. Or like whenever Nicki like acts out on social media, people just like post that clip. So because they slammed the hell out that door. And I think for this one, you really just had to be there. Truly. This next one is one that I hold near and dear to my heart. This one actually might be kind of problematic for others. I don't know if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's fine. This one is specifically for my friends and viewers. If you are not that, you can chuckle along, but not too hard. This one pertains to Blackiana. If you're not familiar with Blackiana, it is the variant of Ariana Grande when she was in her Sweetener Thank You Next era. You can't deny, like, I love Ariana Grande down. I love her. She's my favorite artist of all time. But you cannot deny during this era, she did get a little hood and the music hit. That's a whole other conversation. I don't know if we're ready to talk about that. I don't know if we're ready to wake that up. Sometimes, never approving of this. Like, I think this is a very bad thing to do. I believe that cultural appropriation is terrible and it's something that we should not embrace or do anymore. However, sometimes I can appreciate the effort. Sometimes the pop girlies black eras eat. Dare I say is like the hit maker era of many of their careers. Like Thank You Next and Sweetener, things were changed when she dropped those. Like Blackiana really was doing her big one. Like I think of like Bangers, the Bangers era. Miley was putting out bangers. Like when Christina Aguilera was getting a little hood, like I'll leave it at that. But speaking specifically to this situation, this is the clip where I think they might be on tour. They're probably on tour. And they're trying to get like footage for like this tour clip. And Ariana goes to, I'm not sure if it's her stylist, her makeup artist, her hair person, I don't know who it is, but she goes to one of her employees / friends, Kiyomi. Kiyomi, get your ass over here. I can't even do it. I can't. It is so funny. Because if you close your eyes and listen to this clip.
Kiyomi, get your ass in here. Come on, girl.
Who do you think that is? Who? Like, that is crazy. It is insane. And it is so funny to me. I can very well understand how that could not be to a lot of people, but to me, that is hilarious. I honestly think about this once a day. Like, I think about Kiyomi, get your ass over here once a day. And I say that to my friends so often, like, especially if we're taking a picture or if we're trying to go somewhere. It's like, Kiyomi, get your ass over here. Like, something shifted. She needs those videos scrubbed, by the way. Like, Team Ariana, please go back and scrub all those videos. Definitely scrub that one perfume ad, because that one was spooky. When Madison and I were doing research for fragrances for our celebrity fragrances episode of the Shameless Promo podcast that we have, also tap into the Shameless Promo podcast, we found that one clip of Ariana's fragrance where she was the UPS worker. That was crazy. I will say, I've heard a lot. As a Black Ariana stan, I have heard a lot of the things that people criticize her about. That clip particular was a little wild. That one gave me some pause. Still love her down, but that one was crazy. Next up, Gabbie Hanna, but specifically Gabbie Hanna talking about the babies. I don't know what. I think this might have been during Gabbie's manic era, but she made this video on TikTok where she was talking about how she saw a TikTok about babies crying on the street, how one baby adopted another baby, and there were 2 babies on the street crying on the street.
Of babies on the street who adopted another baby on the street, 2 homeless babies adopting each other on the street, and they held hands all the way down the street. And he was speaking, and the mother said he's praying for him. The homeless baby praying for the other homeless baby. Wake the f*** up. Wake the f*** up before we go to sleep. Wake the f*** up. There's babies on the street.
And it became a meme, like a drinking challenge, where like you have 3 people. You've seen it. There's like 3 people, and like you choose a name, you take a shot every time that she says either baby, street, or like crying or something. I love stuff like this. I think it's so funny. And I really think you just had to be there. Like, this is one of those things where you just had to be there. Yeah. Shout out to Gabbie. Now we're finally on the last one, my friends. I saved the best for last, to be honest. This one is, I think, my personal favorite, and one that I have been quoting, having near and dear to my heart for years at this point. Since I saw it on Vine. This, my friends, is what I do. If you're unfamiliar with what I do, this video takes place in a grocery store where the cameraman comes up to this one lady and is like, I know exactly what you've done. And she could have said many things. She honestly could have said anything. But what did she do? She stood up nice and tall, pushed her back against that aisle, looked at him, likely a Black man, and said, what I do?
What you did?
What I do?
You know you were hella wrong for what you did.
What are you talking about?
Really?
What did I do?
And this kind of goes along the same theme of like the Black scent and the use of AAVE. Like, I understand that it's really bad. I understand that it's offensive, but at a certain point, you kind of just like gotta look at it for what it is. And I just think it was so funny because it was the setup. It was like, what I do? What is you talking about? What I do? Like, she was so dead ass. She was concerned. She wanted to know what she did, because I think she thought maybe she did do something. Maybe in a past life, maybe on a drunken night, she did something, because that man was saying he knew exactly what she did, and she was confused. She was like, what did I do? And honestly, real, because I feel like a lot of times people come at you with wild accusations saying you did this and you did that, to which you can only really say, what did I do? Because what did you do? And this queen never fails to make me laugh. I laugh every time I see a what I do meme. I think, and the fact that it's lasted so many years, this was a Vine and it's just recently resurfaced on TikTok. This one is etched in the pop Bible. Like, she deserves her top spot as Sorcerer Supreme. Like, she did it. And I heard recently she had another one. She had another moment. This one isn't funny, where she got on live and someone got her to say something crazy and she was just really confused as to what she said. I hope one day she's able to know what she's done, and I'm praying that that day comes with a lot of grace fast and quickly. But yeah, that's our tier list, y'all. I think this is a pretty even distribution. Most of them you kind of just had to be there for. There are a lot that I think of at least once a day, and like I thought, not very many that were etched in the pop Bible and not too many that were flops. I think this is a very good distribution. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about these pop flops? And I'll leave a link to this tier list down in the description below if you want to try it out yourself and share how you'd rank these iconic moments. If you do choose to do that, make sure to tag me. I'd love to see where you rank everything on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, all at Imurgency. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on this video because it helps out so much. Don't forget to check out the Shameless Promo podcast, as well as don't forget to tap into DoorDash. And don't forget to use code Imurgency50 to get 50% off up to $10 for your first order of $15 or more on DoorDash. But other than that, y'all, I have an emergency and I will see you in the next video. Peace.